Hello and welcome to the training on how to read selectively. This is a very important time management skill. It's presented to you today by Martha for Business Online Learning. The aim of this video is to give you time-saving tips on how to manage your reading. What does that mean? It means to read selectively, and selectively is the important word. It's all about managing the information input into your brain. The motto is that leaders are readers. So if you want to be a leader, reading is the best way to go ahead. In today's world, there are so many sources of written information, and especially at work, you'll have offline sources and online sources. Newspapers, journals, management books, internal, external reports, memos, papers, letters, briefs, white papers, magazines, supplementaries. Online you'll have emails, email attachments, e-signs, RSS feeds, e-books, Kindle books, forums, social media postings such as LinkedIn, comments, tweets, Facebook, Tumblr, Google+, etc., etc. It's overwhelming. So could you actually list your sources of information now? Stop the video and make a short list. Where do you get your most important information? If you finished your list, now ask yourself, why exactly am I reading this? It's a simple question, but one of the most important. How often do we stop up and ask ourselves, why am I reading this? There are many purposes for reading. You can read to learn. You can read just to update yourself. You can read to become active. This is sourcing and looking up information so that you make more informed decisions. A well-informed decision is a good decision. There are two main rules to reading selectively. The first one is always read with a particular purpose, and then always read in a style appropriate to the material. So how do you do this? The key steps to selective reading is to target your reading by amount. Set goals, for example, of maximum 40 minutes because your concentration will wane after 20 minutes or so. There is a maximum amount of time that you can take in information by reading. Then target your reading by topic. Remember the 20-80 rule. With 20% of the reading, you've actually learned 80% of what you need to know. Then use shortcuts. Many of the reading materials that are available on paper will indicate their contents in the start with either lists. Look at the table of contents in a book. Look at the summaries in the initial or the final paragraphs. Or look at indices in journals or magazines. These would be one way to go at the shortcut straight to the information you need. Avoid unnecessary reading. Look at the shortcuts, the table of contents, the indices, summaries, and learn to skim read your target. Did you know that the first line of every paragraph normally indicates what the content for the whole paragraph will be? So read the first line and that will tell you whether you need to read the whole paragraph or not. Next, when you're going through the material, highlight or underline relevant passages for easy recognition at a later stage. It helps too to write quick, short notes of your own on the side. Not only does it help you to formulate your understanding of the issue, but you can skim read more easily at a later stage. With important material, carry out detailed reading, but then make your shorter notes. I have decided to add in these 4 rounds belonging to studying a book as I consider them very important in selective reading. The approach is, round 1, to study your book in great detail once, writing exact and great notes. Reduce your book of about 300 pages down to, say, 50 pages of good notes. You will not need to look at this book ever again. The second round is to take your 50 pages of notes and then summarize them. Now, mind maps are an excellent tool to use here because they will give you a structured approach to the information in your notes, pulling it all together in overview pictures. The idea is to reduce the material by summarizing, gaining overviews, and noting key points so that at the end you've only got 15 pages. Round 3 is to take your 15 pages and to reduce them down to flashcards with key lists, key explanations, summaries, definitions, and your overviews. These are the only materials you will now use until the exam. Make sure that you have these flashcards learned off and you are sure of doing a very successful exam. With digital media, there are also great shortcuts that you can use. Check for the headings, titles, and also the source. Did you know that there is an RSS feeder which will enable you to get key updates from important websites all onto one page, one overview? You can set this up using www.feedly.com. Also, good social media articles will provide a quick summary of the posting together with the headline. But simply block out that noise. Reduce your sources down to the valuable and reliable minimum. The overflooding that's on the internet at the moment can be dizzying, so choose your sources well. And be aware, on the internet, decide quickly if the information that you're looking at is important for you or not. Information on the internet almost always carries a government health warning, as a lot of it actually is very unreliable. It's like Abraham Lincoln is quoted to have said, "Don't believe all you read on the internet." Anecdotes to the side, ask yourself who wrote this information, how do they know, and where did they get it from? You do your reading in a style appropriate to the material. Choose a place that is conducive to reading and to learning. Reduce all distractions to a minimum. Put the dog out. Set priorities in what you are reading. Decide whether this material is important or is it urgent or is it both. This is a handy tip that is frequently recommended. Give your reading, be it journals, emails, whatever, a priority. Determine, is it important and urgent? Then it's priority 1. Is it important and not urgent? Then it's priority 2. If it's urgent but not important, then it's priority 3. If it's neither important nor urgent, then it belongs to level 4. The key to successful priority setting is to rate the material that is important far higher than the material that is urgent. And this goes against our normal nature, where we always look to the urgent material rather than the important stuff. This is very worth noting. So at the start of each day, organise your paperwork into 4 groups. Number 1, the urgent and important. Number 2, the important but not urgent. Number 3, the urgent but not important. And then finally, when you have time, the not urgent and not important papers. In your daily or your weekly plan, make sure you actually organise time to do your reading, because don't forget, a good manager is an informed manager. To give you an overview, to manage your reading is like an input-output situation. What are the ways that you are managing your inputs? What are the ways you are managing the processing of the information? And what are you doing with the outputs? The ways to manage your inputs are to choose the sources of your information. Filter out all the unnecessary stuff. Filter out that noise. Check for and ensure the reliability of your source. And also to be very clear what the purpose why you are reading this. How are you processing the information? What ways are there to manage the processing of information? The suggestions are to plan time for reading. Learn to skim read. Check for overviews and summaries first. Reduce quantity by note-taking. Prioritize the material you are reading. Finally, to look at the ways to manage the output. Have a clear purpose for your reading, but also consider ways of storing the information for easy retrieval later on. There is an application called evernote.com, which is for free, that enables you to give keywords into information or documents you will find on the internet that may be of use later on. This would be well worth looking at. We have now come to the end of our training. We hope you enjoyed it and would like to join us for more material and more skills training. We're on Facebook with Business Online Learning. We have our own YouTube channel. We're on Pinterest. We have a lively community in Google+. I'm on LinkedIn under the name Martha Begley and in Twitter with Online Martha. If you would like to be updated on what we produce, you can sign up for our newsletter, which is for free, and get this ebook or this business ebook worth $7.99 also for free, and be constantly updated. Thank you for taking the time to look at this video. We hope it has been of great benefit to you. Look forward to seeing you again soon. Until then, the best of luck. Goodbye.